Hey guys, it's Don Walker here. I just wanted to make this and really just to share a heart-to-heart of experience and journey that I've had with online marketing, and really just share like the pitfalls and struggles that I see people go through, even myself, the things that I've struggled with, that's nearly made me like go out of my mind, but also why you should look into doing it and the reason why I do it and what it's for and how it's helped my family. But I really want to go over some pillars as far as like the serious fundamentals. If you don't do these things, the odds of you being successful on the internet are probably slim to none. You absolutely have to do these things to really make it and get ahead. If you don't, then your chances are very slim. So the first thing that I would say is you have to be a part of some type of network or community. You have to, really have a group of people that you feed off of, because you're not part of the norm. You're an entrepreneur as it is, and the majority of people that are out in the world aren't. They have jobs. So the thing about that is that you're not going to really be around a lot of people if you don't. So you need to really plug into the right type of people and community to bounce off of, to share those positive different tips and strategies, and a lot of just inspiring type of experiences or successes that they have. So even failures too, because a lot of people say don't do this, don't do that, because they've already been through it and they give you a heads up. You want to be around that too. So, and you can also share your experiences and knowledge with them, so you have that type of support. Two, you really want to continuously work on yourself. You really want, I think it's very important because it kind of goes along with the community. We're also always looking for better mindset strategies, but you want to read a lot of positive books that work on your personal development. For example, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Classic book. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. If you're a business person, or if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're just looking to be successful and have the right mindset, you need to read that book, because it's very just classic, and it's considered literally the Bible of like business and entrepreneurialism. You need to do it if you haven't. There's so many other books out there that you can answer. You can just send a message to me or reply to this if you were to look in some other books that you want me to suggest to you, because I do read a lot of books. But you want to always focus on being around the right people and keeping negative things out of your life. If you have friends or family member, unfortunately, if they're negative, you need to really kind of distance yourself. Unfortunately, if your family, it's hard because you want to be around them, but if they're negative, telling you that you can't do it, or they're doubting you, or telling you it doesn't work, or if it's a scam, hey, the online business is not a scam. The internet's been, since it's been around, businesses have been built, and people have made a lot of income doing that. It's helped a lot of struggling families too. So if you have any other associations that are very negative, you need to distance yourself. You need to really look at the top 5 people that you're hanging around that that are either they're successful or not, because you're going to end up probably being like them. You're going to end up being ones that are unsuccessful or being successful. So always work on your mindset, always work on your development. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on myself as well. There's things that I'm working on, because we all are working on getting better in life, and that's just a fact. I bleed, and I hurt like everyone else. So just wanted to share that with you. Constantly working yourself. Constantly take out those negative self-limiting beliefs and stay away from the news, because the news is very negative. You want to stay away from negative press and media, because that's all it is. It's just negative. So third one, I think this is very critical, because it's just a plain truth. If you don't have a lot of time because you're working all the time, you have to stretch. You really have to find an hour or two in your day just to focus and make it happen. Don't let that be the reason why you feel like you can't do an online business or business in general. If you're working all the time, it's kind of hard to do a brick and mortar business, because you have to take the plunge to do either one. That's why an online business is very lucrative, because you can take 2 hours and really build a lucrative business on the internet just from 2 hours a day. For the ones that I used to work 12, 15 hours a day, I know what it's like to work around the clock. But I still put that time in, even when I was working a full-time job, burning the midnight oil, because I knew the investment that I would make was worth it. It was worth it. I mean, you see a picture here with my family, my wife, and our 3 children. It was worth the investment of my time, because what I want to provide for my family. I'm making the choice every day to put time into my business and always, get further, because that's just the goal. Another problem is money. I mean, it's the bottom line. I mean, if you had a lot of money to invest in your business, it wouldn't be much of a problem. But I get this from emails all the time. People say that they don't have the money to invest, or it's not a good time. Let me tell you something. if you were to start a brick and mortar business right now, it doesn't matter what it is, you're going to have to spend money. If you really want to start a business, the internet is the lowest cost way to actually build a real business, for a home-based business or a real business. There's no other way around it. If you want to go start a McDonald's or a Subway or whatever type of like franchise, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, I mean millions of dollars. Where else can you do this? You're not going to be able to just jump up unless you have the resources to do it. Not to mention the franchise fees you have to pay those other businesses. The internet and home-based business industry is so lucrative that you can start a program for as low as $25 and actually get a return on that to build your business. It depends on your state of mind. A lot of people, unfortunately, that with a $25 price point, they can afford to do that, and their level of mindset is so low that they don't have a $20,000, $30,000 startup mindset. They would say, no, I don't have that. But if you have just $25, if you're really serious about your business, you could take this and run with it. And that's exactly the type of people that I like to work with, people that are serious about their family, serious about their loved ones, serious about their life, because it can help you change your life. So you can really do this, and the money is not a factor. You can find ways to make money. Let me tell you an example, a story of something. My wife and I, we came to Denver, Colorado. We lost our home in Houston, Texas. We went to foreclosure. We only had about a month to find. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any employment. We got it. I mean, we got the money to get out of our financial situation because we focused all of our intention to getting out of that problem. When you are faced with a very serious problem, you're either going to sink or swim. And you know what? We're swimmers. And right now, we're not, swimming with a life preserve. We have a boat. And if you don't have a boat, if you're in the water, if you can't swim, you're drowning, that's another problem. But if you can swim and you have a life preserver, great. If you have a boat, even better. That's really where we're trying to get you to have a boat and then a yacht and bigger and better and beyond. You can find the money to do this. Don't ever let the money be an obstacle or a fear that you can't surpass, because you can. I just wanted to really encourage you on that, because we were there and we had to deal with that. But now we're in a different situation. We work full time and we're making money, and we also have a lot of money to invest in our business. But it hasn't always been that way. It hasn't always been that way. We've struggled too before in the past. But you really want to understand that many people that are successful have been there. Had nothing. Have nothing. I know people that are millionaires that have struggled. They had to borrow the money. There's always a way if you really decide to make it work. So I wanted to really just share my opinion on that. This is something very critical, and I think as far as the fourth pillar that is very important is having a good mentor and good coaching. We're part of the Empower Network as a marketing platform because of the training and the coaching and the support and the community, the mindset. I mean, all those pillars that we discussed, they encompass all those things that they provide. But I have a personal mentor that I refer back to, beyond the several ones that I have. I have one particular mentor that I always bounce back because he's been on the internet for so long, and just in general. I don't even use his primary marketing method. I listen to his insights and his experience of just the way the mind works, because we always self-sabotage ourselves in life, and you have to overcome those things. So you have to have a good mentor that has made many of those mistakes so you can increase your learning curve. And I'm on the internet, and I have a lot of people asking me questions on certain things, and I feel very inclined to be able to help people from what I've learned, because I've put a lot of time into this, and I know that I hate to see people struggle, and I know that if I hate it, there are people out there that are looking for the same thing. So I want to help people, and that's really the motivation of doing this. And knowing that there are resources available to learn, and there's a community of people to help you. That's really what the Empower Network is, and this is what it's about. It's not the only opportunity that I market, but it's the one that I'm most passionate about. All the other ones that I market are tools, but this is the one that's changing lives. So I want to cut it short there for you. I want to let you know that you are more than worth where you are right now. If you don't have the life that you want, and you deserve the best, you and your family deserve the best. So feel free to leave comments and respond and reply to this message if you have questions. You definitely, deserve a better life if you don't have it. Stay blessed.